Good afternoon, dear students. Welcome to today's class. Today is Wednesday, March the 17th, 2021. And let me call attendance. Okay. Good afternoon. 118 Walid. Yes. 393 Ayad. Yes. 625 Tariq. Yes. 275 Mansour. Yes. 017 Khalid. No. 154 Mohammed. Yes. 823 Umar. Yes. 875 Saud. No. 120 Suleiman. Yes. 017 Ammar. No. 169 Abdul Malik. No. 186 Abdullah. Yes. 239 Abdurrahman. Yes. 287 Ryan. Yes. 309 Mahadi. Yes. 406 Hashim. Yes. 684 Fawaz. No. 810 Abdullah. Yes. 998 Hassan. No. Yes. 092 Suleiman. Yes. 238 Yusuf. Yes. 278 Ahmed. Yes. 380 Nader. Yes. 533 Mohammed. Yes. 628 Abdurrahman. Yes. 229 Nawaf. Yes. 230 Hussein. No. 342 Walid. Yes. 605 Ali. Hussein, yes. Okay. Ali, yes.
Told you I'm here.
Yeah, okay, I got you, Mr. Hussein. 622 Mishari. Yes. 785 Akil. Yes. 791 Muat. Yes. 015 Hassan. Yes. 155 Walid. Yes. 966 Ibrahim. Yes, okay, let me get back to the top of the list. 017 Khalid. No. 875 Saud. No. 017 Ammar. No. 169 Abdul Malik. Yes. 684 Fawaz. No. All right. All right, dear students. Well, we're going to finish our midterm exams and then we'll be able to move on and discuss presentation number 3. So there are 3 students left. And Mr. Muad Al-Ghamdi, you are the first one for today. So Mr. Muad.
Yes, teacher.
Welcome, Mr. Muad.
Welcome, teacher. Thank you.
Can you turn on your camera, please?
Yeah, of course. Can you see me, teacher?
Okay, Mr. Muad, we can see you very well. Let me allow you to be the presenter, Mr. Muad. Hold on a second. Okay. All right. Okay, Mr. Muad, you can share your screen with us now.
Okay. Can you see my screen, teacher?
Yeah, Mr. Muhammad, we can see it. Okay, great.
Okay, teacher. Can I start?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Okay.
Remember, section 26, name, last three digits of your ID.
Yeah.
Although the information is right there, but still.
Okay, no problem.
Okay, please start.
Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Muad Ahmed Al-Ghamdi, 791, Section 26, Presentation 3, Midterm Exam. Okay, did you know that cars only cause a third of population in the world? And also this population kills from 6,500 to 9,500 people in 1 year in France only. So we had to think about solution of this problem, and this lead us to electrical car. Electrical cars, they are cars that work with the electricity and have different technology in the way of working. For example, we have double electrical motors, we have energy reflowing from the brakes, and we have powerful battery. Okay, the history of electrical car. The first electrical car was made in 1890 and was by the American company Baker Motors Vehicle. And it only lasted until 1950. And the main reason that made it not last is short walking distance, which was last longer than 200 miles. And then we go to history 1960, where the electric car Harley Coulter was produced, and it was successful because they were able to make the car reach to 60 miles an hour, what was an excellent developing at that time. But the plan backfired for the same reason, which was the distance. In 1997, General Motors Company succeeded in developing an electrical car that reached to 140 miles an hour. But it did not succeed in competition with gas engine, and went out of service in 1999. After that, the production of modern cars began with the Tesla company, and it succeeded very strongly. And it's true, some challenge passed in 2012, I think. But as we all know, you win some, you lose some. And after that, it succeeded with Tesla Model 3 and continue with us until this day. Some advantages of electric car. First of all, they are better for the environment. Of course, pollution it's much less with the electric car, and electricity can be a reasonable reason. What I mean by that is by using natural resource like winds, for example. And you don't have any motors, then this means less part and less expensive, of course. Finally, they are quieter than gas engine. Without motors, you will not hear anything except the tire. Some disadvantages of electric car. First of all, her price is very low. I said before this is one of advantages, but I also considered disadvantages because people, when they walk, they don't pay attention for the car. And also, according to opinion who use the car, they said it's very boring if you have driving for hours without hearing anything except the tire. Two, we have batteries. Recharging the battery and take very long time. It's absolutely disadvantage. Three, emissions. If the natural resource don't use to produce electricity, electric car still be making pollution for the world. Finally, we have difficult repair and maintenance. Car with the fuel engine, it's very easy to understand, and a person can do maintenance by himself without returning to the company. But electrical cars only have battery and very difficult system to understand. In my conclusion, it's maybe that the quick history of electrical car that I showed you makes you realize that electrical cars are not born of the age. In fact, it is very old. And we have also present some of advantages and disadvantages, like battery and destiny, and so on. And some of you also ask how some of the reasons are considered disadvantages and advantages at the same time. For example, let's take the voice. Often this reason may company be able to transform into win-win solution. Some company, for example, use fake sound that work with the car audio system, and the sound is similar to the engine. Thank you so much for listening. This is all my source I used. Thank you.
Okay. Interesting. All right. It was very informative, Mr. Muat. Your time was 4 minutes and 31 seconds. You went a bit over time, but you do speak very fast. Huh? Your attention getting over was very nice. But you know, what was missing was a preview. You forgot to give us a preview. You summarized in the conclusion, but you should have told us exactly that you were going to discuss, you know, the points, you know, which you discussed, the background and the advantages and disadvantages. Nice visual aids, and it was a good blend of visual aids and the information. You know, they work to complement each other. And, you know, if you're able to do this, it's nice. Because, you know, you actually have your own information, which you're presenting, and you give us plenty of specific information. And you have the visual aids that complement your information. You have a tendency to speak fast, Mr. Muat. You try to slow down and work on your articulation. Try to articulate more clearly. And then in your conclusion, you did summarize, but you gave us your final comment first and then your summary afterwards. Make sure that you follow the outline and the organization which are prescribed. You're going to have to definitely do this for the presentation number 3 also, Mr. Muat. Keep it in mind.
Okay, I will, teacher. Thank you.
Okay, well, anyway, it was very interesting. And at the end, you give us a source of your information that you got, which was a nice touch. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Muat.
Thank you, teacher. Thank you.
All right. So, Mr. Khalid, you're here. Okay, Mr. Khalid, I'll mark you present for the second period. All right. Who else is here? Anybody else? Came in late? Okay, all right. Well, let's move on then. Mr. Hassan, welcome, Mr. Hassan. Your microphone is on. I can hear it. Can you
Thank you, Doctor.
Can you please turn on your camera, please, and I will make you a presenter.
One moment. It won't let me share video. It's weird. That's the first time it's done that.
Sometimes you have problems. I don't know. You may have to restart your computer. I don't know.
Okay, give me just a second.
Okay, I'll let you restart your computer and I'll call the next student, okay? 966 Ibrahim. Mr. Ibrahim.
Yes, Doctor, I'm here, but just a moment.
Okay,
I'm entering from mobile because my laptop is still.
Can you try to turn on your camera, Mr. Ibrahim?
Just a moment, Doctor. I will enter from the laptop from itself because.
Now it's working for me.
Okay, that's fine, Mr. Ibrahim. Mr. Hassan is ready, so we'll let him do his presentation and then you can try to. I'll call you back later, Mr. Ibrahim, okay? Welcome, Mr. Hassan. We can see you very clearly. You have very good resolution here, you know, very clear picture. It's nice. You have a good quality camera there. All right, Mr. Hassan, can you share your screen?
Can you see my screen?
Oh, really, Mr. Abdul Rahman, you saw all this? I didn't even pay attention. Yeah, we could see your screen, Mr. Hassan. All right, it looks good. Yeah, definitely eagle eyes there. Okay. You ready, Mr. Hassan?
Yes, can I start?
Go ahead, please start.
Hello everyone, my name is Hassan Aweshir, section 26. My last 3 number digits are 015. Midterm presentation. Have you ever looked at the marble sky and saw a red star? Well, almost all of us did, but it's not a star. It's the planet Mars. Mars is the fourth rock from the Sun, just after Earth. It's just a smidge more than half Earth's size, with a gravity only 38% compared to Earth's. And today I'm going to talk about Mars in the past, present, and future. My first point is Mars in the past. Mars has captivated humans since we first set eyes on it as a star-like object in the night sky. Early on, its reddish color set the planet apart from its shimmering siblings, each compelling in its own way. Then in the 1800s, telescopes first revealed a full surface of intriguing features, patterns, and landforms, which at first scientists wrongly thought it was Martian civilization. Moving to my second point, Mars in the present. Humans have set out to discover Mars, and lifting the veil on it what can teach us about itself. Now, two NASA's rovers are active on the Martian surface. The first one is InSight, and it's physically exploring and examining the planet's interior. The second one is the one on the screen, actually. It's called the Curiosity rover. It's still wheeling around. Firstly, it was launched back in 2012, but still working, and everything is all right with it, surprisingly. And as you can see, it's taken magnificent selfies all the way from Mars. So far, only uncrewed spacecrafts and robotic rovers has made it to the red planet. But that could soon change, which brings us to my third and last point, Mars in the future. NASA is hoping to land the first humans on Mars by the 2030s. All of the robotic activity is, of course, laying the groundwork for sending humans to the next world over. NASA is targeting the 2030s as a reasonable time frame for setting the first boots on Mars by the 2030s. In the end, I like to say, finally, to sum up, Mars is a marvelous planet, and I've talked about it in the past, present, and future. And in the end, I like to say, if humanity does not land on Mars in my lifetime, I would be very disappointed. Thank you, everyone, for listening.
Thank you, Mr. Hassan. Yeah, I mean, I'm amazed at the progress that has been made, and I'm actually amazed that humanity has been able to send those probes, and that they landed on Mars, and then we were able to see those amazing images of the red planet, even within my own lifetime. Your time was 3 minutes and 16 seconds. Very nice attention-getting opener. Very clear preview. Very well developed. Very well worded. Very interesting. Clear transitions within each point of your body. Good summary and very good concluding remark. The visual aids were great. Good articulation, good pronunciation. Good job.
Thank you, Doctor. I think I was a bit nervous because I didn't finish actually my sum up. It had more in it, but I got really nervous and I just continued with it.
It's very normal, Mr. Hassan. It's very normal to become nervous. And as you're going to see later in this class, even very famous people who are used to speaking in public or performing on a regular basis get nervous. It's a very normal phenomenon. Don't worry about it. All you can do is try to do your best. In any case, you did a very good job. Thank you, Mr. Hassan.
Thank you, Doctor.
Okay. Let's move on. Mr. Ibrahim, 966. Okay, he's joining back, so let's see. Let's give him a few seconds. If he doesn't come back within 1 minute, or within a few seconds, I'm going to start talking about presentation number 3. He's the last student to do his midterm. Maybe he's having trouble with his internet. Okay, he's back on.
Yes.
All right, Mr. Ibrahim, you're back on. All right.
Yes.
Can you turn on your camera, Mr. Ibrahim?
Yes, I think so. Now, is it working?
Not yet. Okay, Mr. Ibrahim, now we can see you.
Yes. Okay.
All right, can you share your screen, please?
Share application screen, right?
Yes. Okay.
Can you see?
Yeah, we can see your screen now. So go ahead and show us your PowerPoint. Okay, here it is. Very good. All right, Mr. Ibrahim.
Yes. Okay.
You want to start?
I want to check if I can move the slides.
Yeah, go ahead.
moving?
It's a good idea. Okay, yeah, it's moving, so you're all right.
Yeah.
Okay,
So,
you want to start? Your sound is no longer there, Mr. Ibrahim.
yes. I will do the.
Okay, all right. I guess you're.
Can I start?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Start.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Ibrahim Al-Amoudi of 966, section 26. I will talk about today online and traditional learning. So the table of the content, it will be introduction, after it will be definitions of the each online traditional learning and pros and cons and conclusion. So in the introduction, as we see, we will talk just a moment, Victor. Before the academic, we all wish if we have our classes to be outside school, and nowadays we are living this experience, but it was not how we think it will be. So I will define if each one. So we have online learning. Learning is a system that we can obtain through the internet using electronic device, as we use laptops and iPads and mobiles, allowing technology to facilitate learning anytime, anywhere. As we sometimes we can enter from anywhere in any place at the same time to attend our classes. And traditional learning is a learning system that happens to face-to-face in classroom, where all the instructors interact directly with the students, and it has a scheduled classes required presenting in school. Yes, and we have now the pros and cons. So the first, we have many pros and cons in this. I will start with the first one, is the concentration. So in online learning, there will not be the students will not be concentrated like the traditional learning. And I prefer traditional learning for the consideration, as we most seen of before the midterms, of the first semesters, our grades were better than online, and the people were understanding from the teachers better. So, second, it offers ways to communicate with your instructors directly if you have any problem in online and traditional. But I prefer face-to-face because you can explain your problem anytime you want. And of course, internet connection, we all having problems with it. And we need strong internet connection to be able to enter our classes. In traditional, you will not need internet or anything. You have to only present. And for the it's more flexible. I think online is flexible also. The traditional, it seems I didn't. It's not flexible like the online. Online is at your home. Yes, and for the conclusion, both online and traditional classes have their advantage and disadvantage. Every student know their own style for studying, so they can choose what's more suitable for them. Study hard and don't let anything stop you dreams, and thank you for listening. It was if anybody have any question, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Ibrahim. Okay, your time is 3 minutes and 54 seconds. Okay. You started out with nice background information. I can hear an echo, Mr. Ibrahim. Can you either turn off your sound or, yeah, it's fine. Or disconnect your speakers. Okay, nice background information. Although you confused us a little bit, you know, you gave us your preview before your attention getting opener, which constituted of a nice, you know, background information. But it was there. It was interesting. It was well developed, and you made good use of your visual aids, and you explored different aspects of the differences, the pros and cons of online learning as opposed to in-class learning by using different aspects of it in the chart. There was a nice way. It was an interactive class chart, sorry. Good summary and concluding remark. But you know, you should have practiced more, Mr. Ibrahim. You know, you prepared well, but you didn't practice enough. You had hesitations, and your articulation and pronunciation should be better.
Doctor, I know I did practice well, but because I was thinking to add, I thought this was few or little or not enough for my time. So I was working yesterday on it.
You're the last student to do this presentation, Mr. Ibrahim. You had more time than anybody else, so you don't have any excuse. But thank you, Mr. Ibrahim. It was interesting.
Thank you for listening.
All right.
I wish it likes you and the students.
Excuse me?
But I say I wish that you like the presentation how I did it.
It was fine, Mr. Ibrahim. You know, try to practice reading out loud. You have a tendency to hesitate when you speak. You know, it's the way you speak is, in a way, a reflection of your personality. It's like, you know, the way you dress is also a reflection of your personality, and you know, the type of person that you are. Hesitating is not a bad thing in itself. you know, if you hesitate before you speak, it means that you think before you speak. It's a good thing, but at the same time, when doing a presentation, no, you should try to avoid that. So try your best to
Okay, thank you, Doctor.
reduce your hesitations, you know, practice reading out loud and try to make it flow as much as possible. Practice your articulation and pronunciation, Mr. Ibrahim, okay?
Okay, okay. Okay.
Okay, dear students, we're done with the midterm exam. Now we can start focusing on presentation number 3. So let me share my screen now. And here we go. Here's my screen. And now if you go to your Blackboard and you click on Home, and you scroll down to the bottom, nearly to the bottom, you will see that I posted information related to presentation number 3, which is going to be a speech to inform. Well, yeah, the midterm was also a speech to inform. What is the difference between this presentation 3 and the midterm? The difference is that this one won't contain visual aids, so no visual aids for this presentation. And there are also a few other differences or a few other points which will be focused on, and I'm going to explain all this to you in detail. Now, as you can see, I've included a whole bunch of enclosures and files, and we're going to take a look at those, okay? Mr. Sao, okay, Mr. Sao, welcome. Oh, 875, right, Mr. Sao. All right. Okay. So, you're going to give us information about something. Presentation 3 will take place next week, week number 10. Okay. You're going to speak for a minimum of 3 minutes and a maximum of 3 minutes and a half. Keep that in mind. Minimum 3 minutes. Try not to go over 3.5 minutes. Okay. The first step to be taken will be to select your topic. That's the very first thing. You should select a different topic than the one you use for the midterm, obviously, okay? There are some samples of topics in the textbook on page 99, and you don't have the book, most of you, but you know, if you look, I'm able to show you the textbook. I cannot give it to you on account of copyright considerations, but here we go. You know, just there's a list of possible topics here. Yeah. By the way, yeah, presentation 3 is based on chapter 5 of your book, which is the same chapter that we covered for the midterm. Being an only child, being married or being single, owning a car or not owning a car, living in a small town or village, living in a large city, owning a pet, owning a home, living alone, living with a roommate, being a working student, getting fired from a job, traveling alone, having children, retiring. That's too far down the road for you to think about it. Renting an apartment. Well, so many different topics. The choice is yours. It's up to you. I've also added a list of possible topics. Anything you like, just stay away from the 3 objectionable ones, which are politics, religion, and sex in an objectionable manner, as you fully understand. Use your good judgment and common sense. Okay. So the next step will be to formulate your thesis statement or preview. Okay. Now, I've provided you with an outline. You see all those files here. And by the way, regarding additional topics, I have some right here. There's a file, and this is a list of topics that was compiled by Dr. Omar Bello, my colleague, who also teaches this class. And you can take a look at this list and see if any of those topics may inspire you. You definitely have to start thinking about it from the very beginning. Which topic do you think you're going to select? It's very important. The history of Saudi Arabia, the psychology of students, should it be understood, obesity, drug abuse, how to be rich, how to be a good manager, soft skills, protecting the environment, recycling to help reduce the greenhouse effect, the impact of single parenting and its effect on children, the importance of family, cartoons, and do they teach children morals? The culture of hosting a guest in a Saudi household. Well, this is the general culture of hospitality in this part of the world, right? I mean, people are very hospitable. How to help refugees, positive thinking, how to raise good children, getting married in Saudi Arabia, how to set goals and achieve them. Why is it bad to judge people by their appearance? How to tell someone they're annoying without being rude. That's a funny one. Yeah. How to be diplomatic. How human behavior affects society. Is the military fulfilling career choice for women? Discrimination. Do actors and athletes make too much money? Why I'm optimistic for our nature's future. Well, if any of those topics inspire you, you're welcome. But again, you can select any topic you like. It's up to you. Now, moving on to the outline. I've included an outline here, and you have to use it. Make sure you use the outline. Now, normally in class, what I do is, this is your outline, right? What I do is I go to the photocopy shop and I print out copies to give out to my students in the class, because I know that a lot of students don't bother printing out the information that I give them. Here we are online. I'm not able to give you a printout of the outline, so you have to take it upon yourself. You should print it out. And as you can see, the outline contains an introduction, a body, and a conclusion. Now, the introduction consists of an attention-getting opener and a preview. You have a transition. And for this presentation, between the different parts of your presentation. Then in the body, you have your first point, and then a transition. Your second point, a transition. Your third point, a transition. And then the conclusion, and which includes a summary, which is a repetition of your preview, and a memorable concluding remark. Now, I've got another version of this here. I've filled out some explanations here. This is the outline, okay? Now, the first part of your introduction is an attention-getting opener. What would your attention-getting opener consist of? Well, it could be an anecdote. An anecdote is a short story connected to your topic. Example, let's say your topic is accidents on the road of Saudi Arabia. So you start your presentation and you say, You know, the other day I was driving between Jubail and Dammam, and I saw a terrible accident on the road. 3 people were dead, and it was horrifying. That would be an anecdote. You know, you telling a story connected to your topic. You know, and what does it do? It attracts the attention of your listeners. Why? You know, the attention getting opener. Why? You want to be interesting. You know, being interesting is a good thing. You do a presentation. Yeah, you're giving data, you're giving facts and figures. Okay, but if you're interesting, well, it's a bonus. You know, it's like, you know very well, you are students. You take all kinds of classes every day. Some teachers are quite interesting, other teachers are boring. I remember when I was a student myself, some of my teachers were quite interesting. They were interesting to listen to, and others, they were so boring, I wanted to die. And, you know, oh, I just wanted to fall asleep, but I couldn't. You know, so as a, yeah, really, I hope I'm not too boring myself. You know, so as a presenter, you want to try to be interesting, and that's the whole idea of, you know, the attention getting opener. You want to grab the attention of your listeners. So you could use either an anecdote or a proverb. You know, early to bed, early to rise makes you healthy, wealthy, and wise. And you know, I'm going to cover the definition of those words also in more details, or a citation. And what is a citation? A citation is you quote from a specific source. And I'm going to explain this further in detail. Or some interesting or surprising fact related to your topic. You know, there are every single day on the highway between Jubail and Dammam, there are 8 accidents at least, and with so many different injuries, you know, 10 injuries and 2 deaths, for example. Or you can start with a question. The question is always a good way to start your presentation. Okay, so this is the attention getting opener. All right, let me see. Mr. Walid, what fact is it that you love? I'm not quite sure because I didn't see when you typed this. Mr. Amar, you're here. Welcome, Mr. Amar. So I will mark you present for the second class. Okay. All right, so yes, where were we? We were looking at the outline, and we were looking at this. Okay. The second part of your introduction is a preview. What is the preview? The preview really, let me put it in big letters here, the preview, and underline it, and change the color. Not too many colors there. Okay, I'll use this green. No, I'll use it. Okay, I'll use blue. Okay. What is a preview? Your preview is your thesis statement. And your thesis statement is the heart of your presentation. Everything else, you know, the heart is considered to be the center of your body. And some people say the brain is the center, but really the heart is even more of the center of your presentation. Everything else is connected to this preview. This is what it is. And what does it mean? What is a thesis statement? It states clearly what you're going to talk about and how you're going to talk about it. Okay, so let's say, for example, what you're going to talk about. You're going to talk about Jubail. This is your topic. Then how are you going to talk about Jubail? Well, you know, you have to decide. And in order for you to decide, you make use of the patterns of organization which are introduced for the midterm exam. You could talk about, okay, you could talk about Jubail. Let me show you those patterns of organization again. Okay. You remember you have, so your topic is Jubail. You could talk about Jubail in the past, in the present, in the future. You could talk about Jubail in chronological order or time order. You could talk about problems related to Jubail and some solutions. Location would be, well, okay, different areas of Jubail, let's say schools in Jubail Balad, schools in Jalmuda, schools in this neighborhood here. Cause and effect, you focus on the effect. For example, the effects of pollution. Effects cause, you focus on the causes. Advantage is advantage, pros and the cons, and related subtopics, well, talk about the schools, the hospitals, and the shopping malls of Jubail, three related subtopics. So remembering and being aware of those patterns of organization is a good thing. It helps you to plan out your presentation and organize your presentation. Okay, so yes. Going back to your outline here. So your preview, it states clearly what your topic is and how you're going to talk about your topic. Then you move on, you have a transition. Okay. It's very important to be able to tell your audience, okay, I just finished my introduction. Let me move on to my first point, which is whatever it's going to be. Okay. And for this presentation, you need to have very clear transitions. Why? Well, transitions allow your audience to follow you more easily. It's like, you're giving them information, and if you give too much, it's hard to absorb. But if it's like eating food. If you eat and, you eat one bite at a time, it's easier to take in and ingest. So it's the same idea. So here you have a signal that indicates, or a statement that indicates to your audience that, okay, I just finished my introduction. Let me move to my first point. Okay. And then you move to your first point. You develop it. Then you have another transition once you finish your first point. Here you move on and you say, okay, I've just finished discussing my first point. Let me move to my second point, which is whatever. Then you develop your second point. You have another transition, which will say, okay, I just finished discussing this. Let me move on to my third point. And you develop your third point. Then you have a transition where you tell your audience, okay, I just finished my third point. Let me move to my conclusion. In your conclusion, the first thing is you summarize your main points. And what is a summary? Summarize your main point, meaning you repeat the contents of your preview. You repeat your preview, which was your thesis statement. You repeat it. Why? What's the point? You may say, I've already said it. Well, repetition makes the information sink in. For your audience, it's all new information, what you're saying. So if you repeat, okay, I've discussed those three things, it makes it, it reinforces the information, makes it clearer in your mind of your listeners. So you summarize your 3 points, and then you make a memorable final comment. So here, the memorable means something you remember. The effect and the purpose of this memorable final comment is very similar to the one that is intended for the attention-getting opener. It's supposed to leave your audience with, okay, a final impression that is, yes, okay, I remember, and this is interesting, okay, and this was something which, yeah, it grabbed my attention. And it could consist of also an anecdote or a proverb or a citation or some interesting and surprising facts or figures related to your topic or a question. But also, you can also give your personal opinion related to the topic, or you can make a prediction, say what you feel is going to happen in the future, or you can give some advice or recommendation related to your topic. You can use any of those for your memorable concluding statement here. Okay. All right, so once you've selected your topic, the first thing you're going to do is to formulate your thesis statement or preview. And in order to do this, keep in mind the patterns of organization which I've already shown you, okay? Then once you've done that, you can build up, you can flesh out your whole presentation. And in order for you to be able to do this easily, I've included a preparation worksheet. Now, again, you can print this out. Normally, what I do is I print it out myself. I get copies made, and then in class, I give the copies to my student and ask them to work on this in the classroom. And it's like brainstorming, okay? It's very useful, this worksheet. The first step is you choose 3 topics that interest you. Okay, so you have to think. Selecting your topic is very important. Selecting it well. It's like choosing a wife, really. Choosing a woman, not easy, There are so many considerations to think about. I always compare it to, the selection of a woman. You got to be very careful. Okay, so let's see. All right. I'm interested. What am I interested in? Okay, Joubert. I could talk about Joubert. Cars. I like cars. And then the third topic. Okay. I could talk about artificial intelligence, chemistry, whatever. So starting. Okay. Then you got your 3 topics. The second step is you narrow down your topic. Okay, if it's Joubert, okay, I can't talk about everything, so what am I going to talk about? And again, in order to do this, you look at the patterns of organization. It's always helpful. You narrow down each topic. Then you choose the topic that you feel, okay, that's the one that I'm going to go for. And then you divide it into 3 or 4 subtopics, which is really the same thing as narrowing it down. Example, Joubert, all right, 3 or 4 subtopics: schools, the shopping malls, the hospitals, and the parks, okay, for example. Okay. Then you prepare, once you've done that, you prepare your attention-getting opener. And again, what would your attention-getting opener consist of? It could be a question, an anecdote, a proverb, a citation, some interesting, surprising facts and figures. That'll be your attention-getting opener, okay? Then you do your preview. Your preview is your thesis statement. It's already been done, okay? Summary, it's the same as your preview and your memorable concluding remark. So this worksheet is useful. There's even a checklist here, which, have you done everything? Have you prepared everything? If you really want to get down to the nitty-gritty or small details of this. Visual aids, there's no visual aids here. So I've also included a self-evaluation form here. You do your presentation and you kind of know yourself how you've done. You know if you've done well, you know if you haven't done that well, you know it yourself. All right. Well, I give you a feedback, of course, and I tell you. But here, this is a sheet that you can use for yourselves, you know, for the informative presentation, to kind of, you know, things to keep in mind. So there are two sections here, the delivery section and the content. Content should go first, but anyway, you know, so in the content, do you have a proper attention getting over, proper preview? Is it well organized? You know, is your thesis statement very clear? Are your supporting materials within the body well developed? By the way, visual aids, you don't need it here. Are your transitions clear? Is your summary there? Is your concluding remark there? Okay, and as far as delivery, eye contact is important. Try to look at the camera. Online, the volume of voice doesn't matter. You have your microphone. Rate of speech is, you know, not too fast, not too slow, not too many hesitations. Enthusiasm is nice. You know, enthusiasm, you know, try to project yourself and give it some energy. You'll be more interesting in that way. And then time limit, of course, for this presentation, it's between 3 to 3.5 minutes. But, you know, as far as delivery is concerned, you know, I've already showed this to you before. I take those 7 points into consideration. You know, eye contact, voice projection, not online, but articulation. Try to say each word clearly. Pronunciation, try to produce the sounds of the English language, fluency, trying to make it flow. Natural sound, well, the thing about natural sound, if you've practiced enough, you're able to just be yourself. And, you know, you are who you are. We're all different. Allah created us the way we are. Being yourself is the best way to be. You know, just be yourself, but project yourself. Let yourself come out. And, you know, you're conveying information. Talk to us. Don't just talk to, you know, your paper or, you know, reciting your information, your presentation in a boring way or in an impersonal, monotonous way. Be yourself and let yourself come out. And who you are is the best way to be. And time, minimum of 3 minutes. Okay, so I've included this. Now, for this presentation, I want 3 things. For the midterm, I didn't really penalize you if you didn't use idioms or proverbs or citation, but for this one, I want an idiom, I want a proverb, and I want a citation. What is a citation? Well, a citation is a statement of facts or figures that you and where you've obtained this information. You know, a citation is you're quoting from authority. Example, according to an article or, you know, a paper or whatever, a book published in, you know, wherever, here, for example, published in Time magazine in July of 2009, or according to a research conducted by the Ministry of Health of Saudi Arabia in February 2015, and then you give your information. This is what we call a citation. And what does it do? It makes your information more credible. You know, your information carries more weight. It carries authority. And this is the positive effect of using a citation. I've included also definitions of those words here, which are always mentioned. You know, what is an idiom? I keep asking you to use an idiom. Okay, here's a definition. It's a group of words established by usage as having a meaning not deducible or not guessable, so to speak, from those of the individual words. Example, over the moon, to see the light, those are idioms, okay? So here are synonyms to the word idiom. An idiom is an expression, it's a turn of phrase, it's a fixed expression, it's a form of expression natural to a language or a person or a group of people. You know, different jobs, different groups of people have use different idioms. Huh? And in Arabic, you use your own idioms. In English, there are idioms. In every language, there are idioms. Okay, so those are all synonyms for the word idiom. It's a choice of words, a turn of words, like that. Okay. Now, what is a proverb? A proverb is a short, well-known, pithy. By the way, pithy is an adjective which means substantial, something which has substance, fiber. Pith would be the fiber. Careful here is pithy with an H, not pity. But pithy, stating a general truth or a piece of advice. You know, for example, no pain, no gain. You know, it's a general truth or some piece of advice. So some synonyms to the word proverb, you know, a saying, a maxim, a motto, an aphorism, dictum, word of wisdom, cliche. Cliche means when it's been overused, you know, it's anything which is overused becomes like a tired expression. You know, you heard it 1,000 times. You know, no pain, no gain. Okay, I heard it. I know. It's what you call a cliche. It's no longer original. An anecdote I explained to you before. It's a short, amusing, and interesting story about a real incident or person. You know, some kind of narrative, reminiscence, you know, which you use. Okay. And a citation. What is a citation? Citation is a quotation from or reference to a book, a paper, an author, scholarly work. It's a quote, it's an excerpt. And what is the effect of a citation? Let me give you an example. Okay, let's say you are you are a lawyer in court. Okay, you're a lawyer. Okay, and you're speaking in front of the judge. You're representing your client. And you try to defend your client who's accused of stealing money, okay? Now, you're trying to defend him and you quote, you use citation, you quote from the law books, you know, the penal code of Saudi Arabia, and you quote the law. And if you quote the law, you're much more effective in your speech and your defense. Another example. Say you are the imam at the masjid on Friday. You're giving a speech to the people who are there on Friday afternoon. You're telling them that they should behave well and they should follow certain rules of conduct. What do you do in order to be more effective? And in order for your words to carry more weight, what do? You quote from the Holy Quran. So according to the Holy Quran, Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said in chapter 7, verse number 23, it says this and this and this. This is what you call a citation. So you do this in the situation of the masjid, in the court of law, and also in doing a presentation. Just to show that you've actually researched your information and you're referring to what we call authority or people who are experts in that field or precedents, you know, how things have been done in the past. And this is the purpose of the citation. So you will be expected to use a citation. for this presentation. Mr. Mohammed Abdul Karim. Okay. I'm not sure what's going on there. All right, let me go back to my explanations. Let me share my screen again. Okay, you can see my screen now.
Teacher,
Yeah.
when I said the citation, should I said when I get it from the website or the neighbor who said?
Yes. You know, don't say according to the internet. This and this and this. The internet is like an ocean, you know. What do you mean the internet? You know, you have to say specifically which website, according to the name of the website, you know, or like that. And don't say it at the end of your presentation. You have to insert it within your presentation. Okay? All right, so I'm showing you my screen again. So while doing your presentation, try to look at the camera. This will serve as your eye contact, okay? Speak clearly. Try to speak with passion. You know, it helps. Make sure your presentation is at least 3 minutes in length. And then at the beginning of your presentation, you know, you section 26, your name, last digits of your ID, presentation number 3. Now I've added, you know, I've included all this information here, all those files, okay? I've included the audio for this Patel's presentation, this audio file here, which was the presentation we looked at when we were preparing for the midterm, because this is an informative presentation. So I cannot give you the whole chapter, I cannot give you everything all at once, but you know, I figure, okay, I can give you the audio for this. And also, I've included another sample presentation. Now this one is really nice because this comes from the previous edition of the book, okay? And this really is a very well organized presentation. Everything is very clear. You have a clear attention-getting opener in the introduction, a clear preview, then very clear transitions, and you see they are labeled very clearly. And then in the, you know, the body is very well developed. You have clear transitions in between each point. And then you have a clear summary and a clear, memorable concluding remark. Let's go over this together. I don't have the audio for this, so I'm going to read it myself, okay? So please follow with me and pay attention. So here is the attention-getting opener. Every student in this room has something in common with famous astronauts, Olympic athletes, actors, politicians, and business executives. It's a common affliction that causes pain, suffering, and distress. Can you guess what it is? I'll tell you. It's called stage fright. Stage fright meaning the fear of speaking or performing in public. You know, you get on the stage and you have this great fear. And as you can see, this attention-getting opener is really nice. It's got a question, a rhetorical question, and the answer right there. And also some sort of anecdotal background. You know, here, every student in this room has something in common with famous people. Oh, really? Okay, me, the common man, I got something in common with all those athletes and actors and politicians. Okay, well, this sounds interesting to me. It's a good attention-getting opener. And then the preview or thesis statement is also very clear. He's saying clearly, today we will be learning 4 major facts about stage fright. So here, the topic is stage fright, 4 points about stage fright. And then he gives us 4 points. The first point is the physical symptoms of stage fright. Second point, the causes of stage fright. Then famous people who had stage fright. And what can be done about stage fright? You got 4 points there. The physical symptoms, by the way, symptoms means the external manifestation or how stage fright manifests itself, what shows itself. And then the reason for stage fright, famous people who have stage fright, and some solution to stage fright, what can be done about it. Okay, then look at the transition here. Okay, let's get started our investigation of stage fright by first looking at the 6 major symptoms. So this is the first part, okay? And then he starts talking about the symptoms, physical symptoms of stage fright: rapid breathing, rapid heart rate, dry mouth, butterflies in your stomach, increased perspiration, trembling hands. Rapid here means quick, so breathing is fast, heart rate is fast, dry mouth. Butterflies in your stomach means it's an idiom, it means your stomach feels uncomfortable. Perspiration means sweating, you sweat more and your hands shake, like that. Okay, so those are the symptoms. And then look at the transition. Now you understand the symptoms, okay, of stage fright. Let's continue by looking at the causes, examining the causes of stage fright, which is the second point of the body, okay? So causes of stage fright. Many people worry that they'll forget what they want to say. It's one of the reasons. Others are afraid that they will look silly. Some people think that the audience won't like them. And international students might worry that their English isn't very good. So those are the reasons. You get nervous, you get self-aware, and you worry about all those things, and that makes you nervous. Okay, then he's got a very clear transition. See, now you're aware of some of the causes of stage fright. Let's continue our inquiry into stage fright by looking at a few famous people who suffered from this affliction. So it's a clear transition. Famous people who had stage fright. Winston Churchill once said that he thought there was a block of ice in his stomach each time he made a speech. Winston Churchill, he was Prime Minister of the UK during the Second World War. If I show you his face here, Winston Churchill, okay. He was a great speaker. If he was nervous, well, okay. If he was nervous before speaking and he was an amazing orator, well then, it's okay for me to be nervous. So Julio Iglesias has revealed he's nervous about his pronunciation when speaking English. Julio Iglesias, he's a singer. Well, he was a singer, he was famous. Julio Iglesias, yeah, that's him, Spanish singer. He's the father of Enrique, and yeah, Julio Iglesias. And then we have, Jane Fonda is admitted to having tremendous fear. Jane Fonda, she was a very famous actress in the 1960s. She was very pretty when she was young. She's an old grandma now, but you know, when she was young, she was a pretty woman. Famous actress, and she is nervous also. She has stage fright. Olivia Newton-John, she was also a famous singer in the 80s, admits to shaking and crying before performance. So, okay. Then one more transition. As you can see, you are in good company with famous people who've had stage fright. Okay, so famous people. Now let's investigate what you can do to overcome this common problem. And he gives two solutions, okay, what you can do to overcome, to fix, you know, to the solution to the problem. It's got short-term solutions and long-term solutions. So here, short-term solutions, be thoroughly prepared and practice before a presentation, which is what I always tell you to do. Take your time before you start to speak. Gently put your notes on the speaker stand, which is your lectern. Then establish eye contact with your audience, which you can do in the physical settings of the classroom. Take several deep breaths before beginning. And, you know, controlling your breath helps in controlling your emotions. So it helps. And then long-term solutions, remember that stage fright is normal. Get as much experience as possible. Talk about stage fright with friends. And then it's got one more transition that leads him to his conclusion. Now that you understand what you can do to reduce stage fright, our investigation is complete. Then he moves on to his conclusion, summary. You should now understand 4 important facts about stage fright. Number 1, the physical symptoms of stage fright. 2, the causes of stage fright. 3, famous people who had stage fright. And what can be done about stage fright. As you can see, the summary is clearly a repetition of the preview. It's exactly the same. Okay. And he's got a memorable concluding remark. In conclusion, stage fright is like a lion in a cage. It's only dangerous if it's allowed to roam free. He's using a metaphor, and the metaphor he's using is a lion in a cage, okay, which is locked up. If it's allowed to come out, it's going to be dangerous, but if you keep it locked up, it'll be okay. Now that you know how to deal with stage fright, you'll be able to keep this beast under control. Remember, as long as you're in control of it, your stage fright, like the lion, will be unable to harm you. So here he's giving some advice. Of course, it's easier said than done. You know, controlling stage fright is a very difficult thing, but it comes with practice. But in any case, this is a memorable concluding remark. And this is a very nice presentation here. So I wish I had samples like this for the other presentations as well. Okay. So now, I've also included a rubric here. Now, I don't use this particular rubric. This rubric was written by, you know, a couple of years ago by the course directors, and they give those rubrics to us at the beginning of the semester, but they don't really apply. You know, for example, there are many problems with those rubrics, many inconsistencies. For example, the time, as you can see, 4 to 5 minutes. No, it's 3 to 3.5 minutes. You know, in last year, in the previous years, in the classroom, there were about only 30 students at the most in each group. Here we got 40, we don't have time. Here, this is like a rundown of how the grade points are awarded, but this is not exact, okay? Posture, body language, I don't take those into consideration. Eye contact, yes. Volume of voice in the classroom, yes, but not online. Rate of speech, yes. Time limit, yes. And then this is for the contents. Presentation aids, no presentation aids for this presentation. So that, but I've included this just to show you a sample of a rubric, but not really the rubric that I follow. Okay. I've also included links to presentations that were done last semester. And all those presentations, they were pretty good, and that's why I included them. And also presentations that were done last year. Okay. By the way, I have a YouTube channel, and here, the YouTube channel is mine. I created it some years ago. It's called JIC English, and as you can see, I've posted examples of all the assignments you have to do this semester. The job interview, which will be at the end of the semester. There are a whole bunch of examples there. The impromptu presentation, which will also be part of your final exam. Bunch of example. Presentation number 4, which will be next presentation, which will be a persuasive. Presentation 3, speech to inform. There are a lot of examples. This is where they come from, by the way. From last year, I was teaching the bachelor's program, and there are examples there, during the lockdown. And even in Korea, I was teaching in Korea before coming to Saudi Arabia, and I was teaching this class with the same book. And that was over 15 years ago, 16 years ago. And I filmed some of my students, and I should have filmed more, but there are a whole bunch of them if you care to take a look at some of them. But let's look at one presentation that was done last semester. And let me clear out my screen here because it's too much stuff, too much clutter. Okay. Now, I need to share the sound, so let me share again. Okay. All right, so let me click on the first one here. And then you got to click again. And here it is.
Section 19, my name is Abdurrahman Al-Madani, 778, presentation 3. As I'm speaking right now, someone is seeing himself in Paris. Another one is seeing himself on the moon. And another is seeing himself as a superhero. Everyone knows that it's not real. This phenomenon is called daydreaming. And today I will inform you about this phenomenon by the definition of daydreaming, the factors of daydreaming, and the attributes of daydreamer. Let's start off by defining the daydreaming. I mentioned earlier that someone can be in this class while at the same time be in Paris. This is made possible by the power of daydreaming, as reported by Sigmund Freud in 1860. The daydreaming can be defined as a tool to experience repressed desires that weren't acceptable in our waking world. Heading on to my second point, which is the factors of daydreaming. Sometimes when you are alone, you tend to fantasize something that doesn't exist, or when you are under emotional pressure. Well, the factors of daydreaming can be many, from loneliness, boredom, or even depression. After we recognize the factors of daydreaming, I'll tell you the attributes of daydreamer. Well, there are many attributes that can lead to daydreaming. The main attribute that is often associated with daydreamer is antisocialism. An antisocial person doesn't have anyone except his mind. But on the bright side, the daydreamer always consider very creative and nonchalant people. To top everything off, the daydreaming is something that it's not good nor bad. It's just a way to fill the void in your day. I've told you 3 points, which is the definition of daydreaming, the factors of daydreaming, and the attributes of daydreamer. Well, take me as an example. I often see myself as a pirate in Caribbean Sea, owning the Havana and Nassau Islands. I have a special giggle, and I cross the seas with my notorious jackdaw ship. If someone criticized my way of thinking as it being too fictional, or perhaps I ought to invest my imagination in something closer to reality. To them, I say what British people always say, horses for courses, mate. Well, that's it. Thank you for listening, and good luck for everyone.
So this was really a beautiful presentation. I mean, really so nice. Everything was there. He had a citation, he had idioms, he had a proverb, and the only problem really was, it was not well centered vertically, that's a shame. But, and his eye contact, but I'll tell you what happened. Last semester, the students had to record their own presentations, then they had to record every single presentation. So he was actually looking at the camera of his laptop computer. That's what he was looking at. And he had his phone above his laptop recording him. So, that was a problem, but otherwise, yeah, that was a beautiful presentation. You did a great job. Let me show you another one. Oh, by the way, before I show you the other one, what I'm going to ask you to do for tomorrow, please pay close attention, okay? For tomorrow, this evening, I want you to think about your topic. Select your topic, okay? And try to select carefully, okay? And I want you to formulate your thesis statement or preview very clearly, okay? So I'm going to ask each one of you tomorrow to tell me clearly what your preview is going to be. Give me the sentence you're going to use, and it shouldn't be too long. This is what you're going to talk about and how you're going to talk about it. This is what I want to hear tomorrow. Okay, and make sure that you tell me that. Is that clear? Do you understand? Do you understand what I want from tomorrow? Please tell me.
Yes, Joe, I understand.
Okay, Mr. Abdul Rahman. Mr. Mishari. Mr. Mishari, please, I want you to say this in Arabic to all your classmates.
يبي منكم بكرة العنوان والموضوع اللي بتستخدمونه تستخدم فيه. أعطاكم الشروط في الباوربوينت عندك في الوورد اللي هنا. اختار الشيء اللي أنت بتتكلم عنه موضوعك ويقول انتبه على الموضوع انه يكون يعني موضوع جيد. That's it, teacher.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Mishari. You have to use a citation for sure. The citation is not optional. If you use 2 idioms, okay, I'll accept that you haven't used the proverb, but the citation is a must, Mr. Mohammed. Okay, Mr. Mishari, one more thing. I will call each one of you tomorrow to ask him for his preview, okay? Now, make sure that you're there, because I'm always surprised, Mr. Mishari, that students they're always present when I call attendance, and then when I call them, like during the course of the time, I call them class. Sorry, I call their names, and they disappear. When I call your name tomorrow, if you don't answer, I will mark you absent for 2 hours. So make sure that you're there. Okay. Please, Mr. Mishari, tell this to everyone.
Want to translate him to Arabic?
Please.
يقول
You know why, Mr. Mishari? You know
Yes.
why, Mr. Mishari? I'm a very practical man. I know that students understand what I'm saying, but if it's translated into Arabic, it has stronger impact and stronger effect, I think. Go ahead. Go ahead.
يقول بكرة اللي منكم بيحضر بعدين بيناديه ثاني مرة علشان يقول عنوانه أو موضوعه ما راح يكون موجود بيسجل أبسنت مو حلوة يعني إنك تحضر بعدين لما يناديك تقول الموضوع حقك ما تكون موجود. That's it, teacher.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mishai. Now, if you're not ready with your topic and your preview, I'm not going to penalize you, but let me tell you, you better try to be ready. Why? Because from my experience, many students, wait until the last minute, and say, okay, I'll wait until next week. And then they'll choose their topic, and then their organization is going to be illogical or not make sense, or it's just going to be an organization that's just not going to work, and they have problems like this. So try to be ready for tomorrow so that I'm able to tell you, yes, you're on the right track. If you're not ready tomorrow and I'm not able to tell you whether you're on the right track or on the wrong track, it's your problem. Don't write me an email, don't do anything, it'll be your problem. So make sure that you select your topic carefully tonight and that you tell me tomorrow. Okay. I will call each one of you. And tomorrow also I'm going to cover in more details the usage of transitions. So let me show you one more example of a presentation from last year during the lockdown. It was a pretty good one also. Let me show you this one here. From last year, okay. By the time we got to presentation 3, we were in lockdown already last year. A whole year has passed already since this COVID-19. All right, let me click on this. And I gotta click again. And here we go.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Abdiz Mohammed Al-Anizi. Last 3 number 406, section number 24, presentation number 3. Hello everybody. Many rich people filed their experiences, but they did not give up. I will tell you a short story about Young Kim, founder of WhatsApp. Young is now 37 years old. At the age of 16 years old in 2009, Young Kim launched the messaging app, which should have replaced the SMS all over the world. Now WhatsApp has more than 600 million users, and Facebook both the company earlier this year for $19 billion. This transition turned come into billionaire. In this presentation, I will talk about three main points to help you be rich. This financial management, determination, and honesty at work. Let's start with the first point, which is financial management. It's a set of rules that study the best possible methods for auditing financial profit and providing that ability to finance all the tasks that take place within the facility. There are three cases to financial management. Firstly, financial planning, secondly, financial control, and thirdly, financial decision making. Let's move to the second point, which is determination. You must have a strong resolve to confirmation difficult problems and not to surrender, because you must see a lot of problems, but it depends on you. So you must have determination and benefits from the experience of others. Let's move to the last point, which is the honesty at work. Sorry. You must be honest in order to have a good reputation and avoid many problems, such as fraud and chemical fraud, because it will lead you to financial fines or even imprisonment. So you should be careful and avoid wrongdoing. At the end, financial management, determination, and honesty at work, all of them help you to be rich. You must persevere with that we aspire to. So we always say decision is the mother of good luck. My circle of information is website IHODL. Thank you.
Okay. If it was so easy to become rich, but in any case, it was a good presentation. You could see that he was using his notes, right? He once, he kept looking at his notes, but it's fine. You can do that. But he kept trying to look at the camera as well. You try to keep the eye contact, so that was acceptable. The only problem was that at the end he said, okay, I got this from this website, and you shouldn't do that. You should give a clear citation, not do it the way he did it. Okay. So this was another example, and tomorrow I'm going to ask you for your preview, your topic, and how you're going to develop your topic. I'm going to cover also transitions in more detail. And everything should be clear, inshallah. So, are there any questions? If there are no questions, it's almost 4 o'clock, so you're welcome, Salawat. It's almost 4 o'clock, so we can call it a day. Yeah, the final will be online also, Mr. Mwat. That's yeah, the final will be online, which is good. When? Before and after, Mr. Mohammed. Right before and also after, it'll be split. Ask me the question again tomorrow in front of the whole class, Mr. Mohammed, and then I'll show you the pacing schedule, and
I think in
then I'll
week,
be able to tell.
I think in week 15 with the practical exam.
Yeah. I'll show this to you tomorrow, Mr. Mishari. Ask me again tomorrow, and then I'll show it to all the students, okay? So that it'll be clear to you.
Thank you, teacher. See you tomorrow.
Thank you, Mr. Mishari. Thank you so much for translating for me.
You're welcome, teacher.
Mr. Hashim, it could be 2, it could be 3, it could be 4. It's up to you. It depends on how much time, the development of each point is going to take. The choice is yours. And, I want, but tomorrow I want to listen to your topic and how you're going to develop it, just to make sure that you're going about it the right way. All right, let's call it a day. And you take care. And then we'll see you tomorrow, inshallah. Okay, dear students. So I'm going to log out now.